This is one of my fish tanks, and it needs some maintenance. So today, I'm going to show you how I maintain this fish tank. This tank might look bad, but all that it is it's low on water and has some algae growth. The first thing that I'm going to do is siphon out some water. And the siphon that I use does have a vacuum on it, so I will vacuum the substrate just a little bit, but I usually don't do a great job. And I'm going to siphon the water into this bucket, and then once the water is siphoned into the bucket, I'm going to take my filters out and rinse them in the bucket. One trick that I like to do when I'm grabbing my sponge filter is put it inside a bag before I yank it out so it doesn't make a huge mess everywhere. It still makes a mess in the tank, but the Ziploc bag, it does catch some stuff. How I clean these sponge filters is I just take them apart, get to the sponge, and then just rinse it out and squeeze it in the water, and rinse these little parts around, and you're basically good. There's little bits of hair algae growing on this, so I'll also pick some of it off. Then when it comes to cleaning this thing can be an absolute pain. I've had all these like explode and go all over my fish tank. So basically what I do is I just get this bottom off somehow. Yeah, always losing little suction cups. It's a pain. And it's hard because you don't want to use too much force because you'll just shoot all these little pellets everywhere. So there it is. This is the little filter sponge, and then just squeeze it out in the water, and that'll get clean, and then rinse these all out, and then I'll do some more off camera obviously, but that's basically the gist of doing this. After cleaning the filters, I got them put back in, and the next step is trimming up these plants. For this plant, I just go a little ways back and pinch it, and it just comes right apart. Now, this isn't for every aquarium plant, but for this one, it is. This will actually grow, so I'm not just going to throw it away. I'm actually going to put it in another one of my fish tanks. And then I'm going to repeat this process a couple of times on this plant. Some of these plant clippings have got this like hair algae type stuff on it, so what I'm going to do is just take it off and then put it in the bucket. The next step is to clean up other plants. Like these plant clippings, these roots of this vine plant that I have growing have some like algae growing on them, so get some of that off. And this little plant's got some dead leaves on it, or at least I think those are probably dead, so I'll break those off. This plant's got all sorts of crap growing on it, so I'll break that off. And basically all these bad pieces that aren't going to do much just go into the bucket. These water sprite that I have growing over here and a little one growing over here will sometimes shoot off little babies like this. So I'm just going to plant this little guy in the back. The center water sprite, I'm just going to pull out of here, and I'm going to replace it with this other water sprite in the other part of the tank that is in this other little terracotta pot. If we look closely, here's what the water sprite looks like. And what we're going to do is take off these two big pieces, this one and this one. I guess that one was already off, and then we're just left with this, which looks like new growth. Here's what I've decided. I'm going to take the old water sprite, the new one, and a piece from this plant and put it all into that little hole down there. And then there's this little Anubias down here that's covered in some stuff, so I'll just take my thumb and rub over it, and I'm not going to do a great job, but it'll get off a little bit of stuff. I got everything pretty much how I want it, and now I'm just going to fill the rest of this bucket up with some siphoned out water, and then it's time to fill it up. This water that I got out from the fish tank, I'm just going to pour into my goldfish pond. Then it's time to fill up the tank, and I use well water so I don't have to do any water conditioning or anything like that. As I put water into my tank, I like to have my hand under the water so it doesn't mix everything up as much. Now this tank is really a mess after the water stirred up everything, but the fish all love it because they're able to find a little snack. The next step is to get something with an edge and scrape off all the algae. Here's the fish tank now, and it does have some stuff floating around. I just moved some stuff, but it's obviously not perfect, but it's like a good haircut. You gotta cut it back and then let it grow back up. So that's how I clean my fish tank.